Morning all, back in the lakes on a beautiful mid-July's day, and today we're going to tackle the fells around the Windlatter area of the Lake District, just west of Bassenthwaite Lake. So that's starting with Graystones and then going up to Ling Fell and then Seat Fell, then Broom Fell, and then finally Seat, Barf, and then if there's enough fuel in the tank, then Windlatter itself at the end. Really beautiful morning. Got Hope Gill Head over there, and then in the far distance, just behind the trees there, Grysdale Pike. This is the first fell of the day, just up here, which is Graystones. Looks quite a steep ascent by that pine forest there that looks like it's being felled. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this today. It should take about 6 or 7, actually probably more like 7 or 8 hours. It's about 12 miles and 4,000 feet of ascent. So let's have a look at the route and then we'll get cracking. First up with Graystones. Okay, so the route starts by the Darling Howe car park, crosses Aitken Beck, and then goes steeply up onto the summit of Graystones. And then it's quite a long wander across the Wythop moss area in order to then climb again steeply through the bracken up onto Ling Fell summit. And then from there we have to drop again steeply down into the Wythop Valley, where I had a bite to eat, and then again another steep ascent through the bracken up onto Seat Fell. From there, Broom Fell looks a long way away and is a long way away. There's no clear path from this point here up onto the summit of Broom Fell, so it's a case of just wandering up through farm tracks. It's a very grassy area, this, up onto the summit of Broom Fell. And then from there, finally, we get some fairly easy going without losing too much height up onto the summit of Lord's Seat, and then a quick wander down to the summit of Barf, which is just off the picture there, and then retreading the steps, but just before getting up to Lord's Seat again, wandering off onto the left, and then through the various forestry tracks through Windlatter. Windlatter Fell itself is just on the left up there, and I didn't go up it in the end. I'll explain why more in the video, but then continued on through the forestry tracks and back to the start. So there's the aerial view, nice circular walk starting from the very bottom corner that you can see there. Okay, so first job of the day is just to drop down along this path to cross over Wythop Beck. So yeah, that's the destination up there. This looks like a very overgrown path. It's like dropping into the back of beyond down here. You can hear Wythop Beck bubbling away. Oh, it's pretty overgrown with bracken. Whoop. Oh, watch your foot in here. Found the path up to Graystones up there. Looks pretty steep, but doesn't look too far, so I reckon about half an hour of effort and we'll be up there. This is Scoregill Bridge down there, And this is Aching Beck. Yeah, looking absolutely stunning this morning. Hopefully get some beautiful views along the way. Right, let's get working. Oh, just stopped for a breather halfway up. That's really steep, and I've still got another about the same distance again, and equally as steep to get onto the summit. Oh, Fell Runner's just run past me, making me feel completely inadequate. She's probably on the summit by now. I don't know how they do that, it's just absolutely beyond me. My excuse though is that I've got a heavy rucksack, heavy-ish, with 3 litres of water in. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, look at these beautiful views. So these are the fells, the Loweswater Fells. I think that's Great Bourne over there, and I think that's Hen Combe, just the spiky one just sticking out on the corner. One of those is going to be Gavel Fell and Blake Fell. I'm not sure which, because I've not had a look at Peak Finder yet, but I'll have a look at that when I get onto the summit. Spiky one there is Hopegill Head, then we've got Grysdale Pike, and then just behind the rowan tree there is Winlatter, which is the last fell I'm going to be climbing today. And then this here is on the map as Darling Cow Plantation, and it looks like that's being felled at the moment. Right, the remaining half of the ascent to go. Onwards to Graystones. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Oh, I don't know if you do this, but when it's really steep, I won't allow myself a rest until I've counted 50 steps, even if they're just really small and slow. And it's just my way of just making sure that I do make progress. Oh. Nearly there. Okay, so I made it to the summit of Graystones. It's a bit unusual this, because the whole fell is actually called Kirk Fell. Not the Kirk Fell in Wasdale, of course, but Kirk Fell nevertheless. But yeah, the summit is called Graystones, and that's the Wainwrights, so a little bit unusual. So yeah, great views. I've got my orientation now. So the highest one there is Broom Fell, is Blake Fell, and then we've got Gavel Fell. The gnarly one that I said was Hen Combe is in fact Melbrake, and Hen Combe is just on its shoulder on the right behind it, and then in the distance is Great Bourne, and then we've got Starling Dodd there in the corner. Over here we've got Whiteside, we've got a bit of Grassmore, I think, in the far distance, Hopegill Head, Grysdale Pike, Winlatter, and then the rest of these are the fells I've yet to climb. So I'm not sure which is which actually. That's Binsey in the far distance. I've done that. I'm not climbing that one today. Ling Fell somewhere over here. That's the next one. This one's Broom Fell, and then that one's Lord's Seat. So yeah. Just out of interest though, those of you who don't know, these summit panoramas that I'm briefly describing now, I do one in much more detail, fully labelled for every summit that I climb, and I'll put a link to it up here for the one from this summit, and I'll do the same for all the rest of the summits I climb today. So check those out if you're interested. I've done well over 100 now of these summit view panorama Wainwrights. I'm going to do all 214 eventually. I only started doing these when I was about halfway through climbing them all, so even though this is my 203rd Wainwright, it's probably about my 120th-ish summit view panorama, but I will get those done over time, so do check that out. Right, I'm going to have a quick slurp of coffee and then see if I can find out where Ling Fell is. Somewhere over this, I think that might be it, just poking over the corner there in front of Binsey. Those little squeaky birds there, I've never known what they were, and I hear them all the time when I'm out hiking, but I do now, because I've downloaded an app, another app recommendation, called Merlin Bird app, and all you have to do is, it's free, listening for birds, and there you have it, a meadow pipit. Now I know. So yeah, Merlin Bird ID, highly recommend it, and I'm sure I'll be using it later on the walk when I hear some other bird song that I can't identify. Right, anyway, onwards, following up this tumble down dry stone wall, up onto Ling Fell up there. Just a word of advice if you are following this route, walk on the left side of this fence if you're coming down, rather than the right side like I did, because there's a sort of submerged stream down there that gets really close to the fence and the dry stone wall back there, and I've fallen down it a couple of times. There's no point in crossing now because I've got over the worst of it, but yeah, if you're doing this route, left hand side of this fence, and hopefully your going will be a bit easier than mine was. Right, we're just about to start the ascent of Ling Fell. So legs are now fully recovered. We've been going for about 2 hours. Took an hour to get up on top of Graystones and then another hour to get to here. I reckon that summit's about half an hour away. Okay. Oh, this looks a bit precarious. Yeah, maybe I should have crossed over the left side after all. Okay, so yeah, definitely follow this side of the path as you come down from Graystones. And then when you get to this gate, then it looks like it's going through here, and then the path goes up the other side of the fence, up onto the summit. Okay, back on track. I'll just pause because I've heard another bird that I didn't recognise chattering away up there, and it's a European stone chat. There it is. Okay, made it to the summit of Ling Fell. Lovely little spot. Big grassy mound is this. Oh, right, that's the next one over there, Sail Fell. Blencathra there, not Blencathra, Skiddaw. I think that's Broom Fell. Crysdale Pike, Hope Gillhead, Grassmore, Loweswater Fells we saw before, right out over the Irish Sea, and the Solway Firth, Scottish Fells over there in the distance. How about that? Corner of Bassenthwaite Lake there. We're going to get better views of that as the walk goes on, I think. I'm looking forward to looking down the whole length of Bassenthwaite Lake from Broom Fell and Barf and Nose Fell, Lord's Seat in particular. Okay, bite to eat, then crack on. Having to lose so much height in between these fells, which does make it hard work, so got to travel right the way down to this pass in order to get back up again onto Sail Fell there, and it looks like the same thing again, dropping down to get up onto Broom Fell over there. So yeah, very much up and down this hike. So this is Sail Fell up there. Looks like you've just got to walk about a quarter of a mile along this lane, and then a path skirts up along that wall there to get up onto the summit. Okay, been at it about 3 hours now, just at the foot of Sail Fell. It's just up behind me here. I'm just taking a little diversion down to this lovely little beck just to have some lunch and gird the loins for what looks like another steep climb. So yeah, picked a lovely little spot here. Have some refreshments and then we'll crack on. Okay, made it to the summit of Sail Fell. Here we go. Yeah, this must be, I mean, we're right on the northwest corner of the Lake District Fells here. There is pretty much no fells between us and southern Scotland there. There's Binsey. There's a bit of Bassenthwaite Lake, back of Skiddaw Fells, Great Scar Fell, the largest of those, Ullock Pike, Skiddaw, Dodd, all of the Great Dodd and the rest of the Dodd range, Helvellyn, the highest peak on that range in the far distance. This is the next one I've got to climb, Broom Fell, and then that's Lord's Seat, the one after that. In the distance there we've got Hope Gillhead. That's what I climbed, that's the last one I climbed, Ling Fell, and then that's Graystones over there where we were, first fell of the day. So that's the panorama, looking really good. There's a wind got up now, a nice fresh breeze, which is nice because it's keeping me cool, because it has been really quite sweltering. So this is the furthest I am from the start of the walk, so it's all back home now, albeit with quite a few up and downs on the way. So next stop, Broom Fell. Okay, right, I've dropped down off Sail Fell, we're at Old Scale, and now we're heading off up to Broom Fell. There's no clear path here, but I think the route goes through this old gate and then up onto sort of a grassy sort of meadow almost, leading up onto Broom Fell. So we'll give that a go and we'll see how we get on. Okay, still trying to navigate my way up Broom Fell. There's no OS map path that I can see, so it's just a case of picking my way up farm tracks and various other paths and trying to head in the general direction of Broom Fell, which is just over the other side of this little valley there. You can just see it in the distance, so I'm going to have to go up here and then around by the look of it. Okay, plodding on. Okay, summit of Broom Fell, and that is a proper cairn. No mistaking that one. Yeah, that was tough, tough climb. It's no clear path, it's just a case of following up some sort of very faint quad bike tracks up the grass. It's this sort of terrain really all the way up. Sheep farming country. So that's Graystones, the first fell that I climbed today. And it would have been so much easier just to come across there to here and cut out Ling Fell and Sail Fell. But yeah, you can see how much these fells are just so individual, and you've got to lose so much height. I had to drop all the way down there to come up to Ling Fell, and then all the way down there to come up to Sail Fell, and then all the way down to that valley to come up to here. So it's really tough going to get a link that links all these together, because there's no nice ridge routes, unfortunately, that connect them all up. Brilliant views over there to Skiddaw and Blencathra. This is Lord's Seat, where I'm heading next, and thankfully that does look like a reasonable ridge route. And then over here, absolutely magnificent views over to the Coaldale Fells, Causey Pike, Grisdale Pike. I think that must be Sale or maybe Crag Hill, Grassmoor. Absolutely stunning. Right, I'm going to have a little sit down for 5 minutes. There's a nice inviting wind shelter there with my name on it, and then I'm going to crack on to Lord's Seat and then Barf, which is just over the other side. Skylark, I think. Let's check. There you go. Eurasian Skylark. Doesn't take it long, does it? Loving this app. Oh, summit. Lord's Seat. Oh, I suspect there was once a trig point up here, but it's come down for whatever reason. It's a shame. So this is the highest fell of the day, 1,811 feet. And these are the views. Skiddaw, the Dodds, Helvellyn, Crasdale Pike, Grassmoor and all of those fells, and then all the fells we've climbed today: Graystones, Broom Fell, Ling Fell's hiding over the far side, Sail Fell there. Pretty good. Right, just Barf to go now. I think that is Barf just down there. So we have to go down there, and I think come down the other side here, and then I think that must be Windlatter there, and then back down to the car. Okay, let's get cracking. Summit of Barf. Oh wow, save the best till last. Well, almost last. Look at that. Wow, virtually the whole length of Bassenthwaite Lake. Stunning. Oh, right. Oh, we can see Derwent Water over there as well, and Keswick. Superb. Right, I think I'm going to sit down for 20 minutes, have the last of my sandwiches, last of my coffee, and then head back, trying to find Windlatter on the way back. Looks like it might be a bit of a task, that, because it's hidden within Windlatter forest and there's paths all over the place, but we'll give it a go, because it'd be nice to get that last one and then finish the 7 for the day. Right, that is magnificent. I'll give you one more look before I ever sit down. I really don't want to leave here, but I'll have to do, I suppose. Absolutely stunning views, just stunning. Okay, right, let's head back. So it looks like I've got to retread some of my path up here and then veer off left just before I get to the summit of Lord's Seat again. I don't want to re-summit that again, and then enter the forest there, and then Windlatter summit is somewhere up there. So let's have a look and see. Heading back, I've decided to give Windlatter a miss. It's up there, but there's no clear path. It would just mean forcing my way through all that forest, so I'm going to give it a miss, and I'm going to climb it another day via the proper suggested route. So just be the 6th today, and that's 208 Wainwrights with 6 to go. I've been at it for 8 hours, so I think that's enough. I just don't think I've got the energy left in the legs to do that last one, particularly because you've got to lose so much height before then again trying to regain it all over again. It's all these mountains pretty much, except for Lord's Seat, Broom Fell and Barf. The rest of them are all isolated fells that you have to really lose so much height before you get back up again. So it is quite energy consuming. So if you're going to do the same as me and avoid Windlatter, then I wouldn't come the way I've just come now through all these forestry tracks. I would take a path southwest from Lord's Seat that winds its way much more directly back to the starting point. But if you are younger than me or got more energy than me, and didn't have two lengthy 20-minute, in fact 3 20-minute rests and stops and lunch breaks and whatever, then you could come this way, and then you'd have to basically force your way off path left up onto Windlatter's summit. So heading back, got about 2 kilometers I think to get back to the car, and then that will be me done for today. Nearly back at the car. So yeah, good hike, longer than I thought. 8.5 hours. Just the 6 fells was enough for me. So I'll climb Windlatter on another day via the the Wainwright guidebook route, and I'll probably do it in the same day as I do Barrow, because those are the 2 outliers around this area. And then after those 2 I've just got Low Fell and Fell Barrow, another hike, and then Haystacks and Fleetwith Pike, another hike, and then that's me done. So yeah, highlight of today, definitely Barf Summit, brilliant, honestly. If you've not been up there, then I'd highly recommend it, even if it's just 1 fell on its own. And the other highlight of the day was the Merlin bird ID app, absolutely brilliant and thoroughly recommended. Okay, signing off, till next time.